Hmm. You know, I don't think there is a perfect picture. I think every picture is perfect in its own way at the moment. Uh, you can talk about good composition. You can, sort of like Eleanor Anton, when she recreates pictures, she spends hours on the composition and making it just right, and the lighting and all the aspects of the picture are very controlled by her. Or you can talk, if you can go back to the class and the lighting he used when he did some black and white nudes, and it's all very dramatic and it's all very staged and very, very controlled. And I think that works, but even still, you can find technique flaws, or you can criticize and find something better about those pictures. And even in my art, which is imperfect from the get-go because it's improvisational, it's off the cuff, it's just whatever happens. You have to run with it. There's no set standard that says perfect. Even a rose, if I held up the most beautiful rose in the world, you can find an imperfection. So I think the perfect picture is the one that acknowledges and recognizes its imperfection. Now, usually when I'm working on a project, I really like to spend time on the details, each little layer and level. It's very important to, even at the pixel level, because that's where really a picture lives, at the pixel level or the grain level, or, it's like the atom level. I think it's hard to realize what exactly level you're working at, but you have to remember that because, things change all the time. Even atoms change all the time. I mean, how else would we have light if that didn't happen? Definitely the way I shoot is analogous to early photography. Most of the people who started off in the beginning, even from Daguerre, Talbot, Eastman, pioneers later on, and when you get into surrealism and those, Man Ray, again, I bring him up. I can't help it. He's just such a great guy. Moving on up into the 40s, Friedland. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is your way of shooting analogous to early photography?
That's right, and that's where I was going. See, those people didn't know what they were doing either. They were making it up. And now we see, you look back through time, and just like Tolstoy said at the end of War and Peace, right? Time gives perspective. It makes it look like it happened because it had to happen. But in the moment, it's free will, right? You know what I'm saying? If you read the book, you get it. But they didn't know what they were doing. They really didn't. They didn't know. Everybody thinks they knew, that they're so smart. They look back and they don't see the thousands of dollars of paper that ended up on the floor in the trash. No, they don't see that.
Here. Damn it, I hate emo boys. I always think they're too girls. Yeah, this is
I guess I'm fascinated by strangers because there's no shared history between us. There's no good memories. There's no bad memories. There's only the memories of what we're about to create. Sometimes strangers are more willing to do things off the cuff than people who are good friends or even acquaintances. It's easier to convince them to do something silly out of context because they know that you won't remember them and they think that they won't remember you. But of course, everybody is affected by what I create. And that's all I ever aim to do with my art. I just want to affect people. I don't care how. I just want to affect them. But you're going to be holding on to my shoulder, and you can hold yourself up. And I want you to just put in there, man. Thank you. Okay. Back. There you go. Back.
Is your photo process straightforward?
For the most part, my process in terms of how I come at either my concept for art or the execution of it or all the way down the line until I'm showing it, selling it, buying it back, reselling it, giving it to someone, being an Indian giver, taking it back. It's pretty much unconsidered, and that's my art. My art is not considering my art. Even in my life, which is my art, even though I express it through photography and perhaps maybe sometimes video and sound, or here and there a drawing, or even the way I sometimes may creatively stumble down the street. It's unconsidered, and that's what makes my art so rare. It's so hard for people to grasp that I can make such beautiful art without considering it. It frustrates people. It does, I know. And I just try to help them. I try to show them the way that, look, come join me on my rocket ship without a steering wheel, and I promise you we'll land somewhere. And I think it's either the landing part or the somewhere part that people have a hard time identifying with, especially as a metaphor. So I still, there's plenty of seats on the rocket ship. Come on along and let's make some art. I don't. No, there's nothing special about what I do. Nothing. Except, well, me. But that's a whole other story. Thank you, Mr. Rogers.